Sisters. Dear sisters, my friend and I have known each other since childhood. We shared memories, experiences, and our personal life experiences since childhood. When we got to the university, I got a boyfriend who was very friendly and had been accommodating of the relationship I have with my childhood friend. In our second year in school, my program required me to do an exchange program in another university in a different city. My boyfriend still keeps in touch with my friend because he knows how I feel about my friends. So I felt responsible for them. As fate has it, my boyfriend traveled outside the country just when I completed school, so our communication was obstructed. Fast forward, I received a random call from my childhood friend one day telling me she had an affair with my boyfriend when I traveled to school in a different city. This was after we had not spoken in a while because of work. I called my boyfriend immediately because I couldn't believe what I heard. He confirmed it and said the girl told him to break up with me when he turned down her proposal. He was hesitant to tell me because he knows it will break me at the point. Now, I don't know who to trust right now, my friend or my boyfriend. This is confusing, especially during the time I have to travel to join my guy. Sisters, what should I do? Please help me.
Hey, who's making sure?
So quiet. Crickets. That was a lot of crickets right there.
Was it Maya Angelou who said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time?
Yeah.
Sometimes the signs are written on the wall and it's made easy for us to be able to discern. But we push the boundaries of things and people to the extent where they do it in a way that hurts us and causes lifetime of pain. Lucky for her in this.
Say that again.
Sometimes the signs are all written on the wall, but we ignore it and keep pushing the boundary to the point where people hurt us, where the damage that is done is irreparable.
Yes.
And I think in this case, she's very fortunate. But you see, the devil always has a trick up his sleeves. There is always something that will trick you into wanting to remain in that place that is not good for you. And in this case, for example, it's that trip she has to make to go and join this guy. Because ideally, everything else is pointing to the fact that avoid these two people like a plague.
Exactly.
But now that's one trip you are going to make to join him is going to trick you into thinking, maybe if I join him, then this girl is no more in the picture and then we'll have a happily ever after. But no, there are 1,000,001 other women all over the world, even probably more beautiful than that, your friend. And once the temptation has come and he's fallen short of it, he's going to fall short again and again and again. Because even then your relationship was a lot more fresher and newer. And he couldn't, his self-control was so weak. If he gets to know you 10 years or let's say 5 years or 2 years into the relationship, he's known you, he's known your faults, he's known your flaws, he's known your ins and outs, he's seen you naked, the yiri yari 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 has all been done and said. Now, the love dwindles even faster when all these things are in the picture. When a person sees your flaws and all that, it's easier to fall out of love. That's why, even with sex, and I have thought about this several times, especially when the Bible speaks about not abstaining. I feel like it is because even God knows that when that comes into the picture, it clouds your judgment and everything else. And so, with the freshness of a relationship, you are assured of a person sticking around. That's the feeling.
Exactly.
And in that point, this man couldn't. It is not when the relationship is a lot more older that he's going to be able to do that. So I think she should put a hold on the trip, leave these two people. Look, there's been a time in my life where something happened between a friend of mine and I was not in talking terms with this person anymore. And another close friend of mine whom I had known for longer, say 10 years at the time or even 8 years at the time, suddenly was talking to me, I was talking to this other friend, and I found it, I don't know, it bothered my spirit in such a weird way. I couldn't understand.
It's absurd.
Yes. And then eventually there was a day we were supposed to go and have lunch, and then she made a funny excuse. Next thing I know, I had seen on Instagram where she was having lunch with this other fellow.
Oh.
That day, I made a quick decision and I said, I'm avoiding these two people. It is good for my own spirit and inner man, for my own personal peace, you know, to do some of these things. And sometimes when you don't make that decision quicker, you're only going to struggle with it for the rest of your life and hurt yourself forever. Yeah. There's no reason why. And in any case, to be able to have an affair with someone, it goes through an entire process.
Yeah.
You know?
Quick question though. Did they have an affair?
She said.
The girl said it and the man confirmed.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
Whatever it is, for two people to intentionally go out of their way to even say that to you and the other person confirm it, whether they had an affair or not, is still wrong. These two people are going out of their way to hurt you.
No, but you know, the boyfriend was hesitant to actually, he said he was hesitant to tell her because he knew how it would make her feel.
Which even makes it worse.
And also, he said he confirmed that yes, but he confirmed what the girl said, but he said the girl rather told him to break up with her. So could it be the question of this girl comes and says, you know what, I like you so much, you have to break up with my friend, and then he says, oh, I'm not interested in a relationship, and then
really?
she goes to go and tell
Do you
him.
believe that's how these things go?
No.
We are all women. Would any of your lady friends, would you just walk up to any of the boyfriends of any of your friends and just tell them break up? Let's say if you knew Felicia's boyfriend, would you just walk up to him and say break up with Felicia? Things evolve gradually to the point where you find it comfortable to go and tell the person that. And I think when a man allows and opens up his space for that to happen, look, we always say this, and I think I've repeated it on this show more than once. The moment someone finds it comfortable to speak badly about another person to you, it's because you've allowed it. If I find it comfortable to come and speak badly about Felicia to you, it is because you have allowed it for that to happen. But for example, I can never say anything bad about Olivia's child to Olivia because I know once I start, Olivia is going to shut it down. Right? And she'll get home, and even if she thinks her child is wrong, she'll scold her child behind closed doors. But she will not allow me to speak badly about her or probably say anything negative about her child. That's how much love means to everybody. It's a universal language. Once your man allows for another woman to confidently tell him, come on.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, that was a red flag.
Yes.
For me.
And the fact that he hid it from you to the point where you're confronting him, that's so many layers of red flags in this. I think the best decision she can make is to avoid both of them like the plague that they are. And move on with her life.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Sicho is saying. This guy, honestly, if it's so, like, you know, like when you were saying that what if they're both playing this other girl, for him to even allow that to happen, for me, it's a no-no. And I always say, you know, when you're in a relationship, it's almost like the relationship period prior to marriage, it's like the testing ground. If you're in a relationship and you manage to stay faithful the entire time up until you get married, it'll be a continuation after marriage. So you're in a relationship and you've started cheating. What other expectations should your partner have of you? You're just going to continue because you couldn't keep your scruples. You didn't force, like you didn't, you know. So, sweetheart, I know it's tough. I know you're so brokenhearted, but honestly, it's a blessing in disguise. Don't let your whole mind be, like you're going to travel, you're going to travel, you're going to travel. Trust me, God will open other opportunities for you. Don't settle for less just because it's like your whole hope, your whole entire aspiration is like your whole life is centered around this guy. And it almost feels like, because your friend has come to do this, like, you can't do anything. Like, no. It's a prayer topic. I always say the other thing, don't marry a prayer topic, marry a prayer partner. This guy is definitely going to be a prayer topic. You will not enjoy your marriage, your life whatsoever with him. He's broken trust. what kind of relationship starts off with?
It's going to be a marriage of paranoia the entire time.
The entire time. So, sweetheart, I don't think you want that. And honestly, moving on, be careful of the kinds of friends you make.
Right.
Because initially in your submission, you mentioned her saying, oh, your friends are very important to you and your boyfriend knows how important your friends are. Honey bunny, come ask me. I've got friends, but I don't have friends. I don't know how to put it. Like, I've got people I say, oh, hello, hi, check up on you. But when it comes to my marriage, my kids, my family, ask anybody. I don't do friends. If we have a problem, we talk about it. We trash it. No friend, no third party out. It's you and your partner. There's certain information, okay, allow your friends. Don't do friends matter when marriage is serious business. So once you get your acts together, I'm not saying don't have friends. I'm not saying all friends will do what this other person did to you. All I'm saying is that sit back and look at things differently. Don't voice out all the amazing things that are happening to you. And it's not every blessing that God brings your way that you should be telling people. Yeah. Trust me, if God was the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and Jesus came and he was hidden, Moses was hidden, how much more, why would God hide such a blessing? So it's not everything that your friends out there need to know. It's not everybody that you open up to who actually wants the best for you. Right. This friend has literally messed up. If it's true that this guy, you were destined to be with this guy, out of jealousy, they come, they smile with you, but they don't mean well for you. No. Wake up. This is a chill pill. Take it as it is. Move on and just be careful moving on.
Yeah, I totally agree with my sisters. These are two people you definitely need to get rid of ASAP. However, first lesson, like Olivia Riley said, don't ever bring your friends into your relationship. I don't get it. I can't fathom it. It doesn't make any sense to me. How is my boyfriend talking to my friend?
Behind my back. Like what business?
Sister, not even in front of me. Unless we've gone out together and I have introduced my boyfriend to you. You talk there, period. No exchange of numbers. Nothing. My boyfriend has no business with you, my dear friend. I'm the mutual friend in this picture. Everything comes through me. Like, I'm the web. I'm the connector. The two of you have, not that I don't trust you, but I don't see where the connection is.
Because it's not her sister.
He's not your...
It's not her parents.
Your blessings are not coming from my boyfriend. My boyfriend is not God. You have yours, I have mine. And likewise me, I don't cross that boundary with my friends' boyfriends. The best you get from me with your boyfriend is, hi, hello, period. And that is how it should be. And it's a lesson we should all learn. It's not that you don't, like, there's nothing about this. So there's no ulterior motive about this. So it's just you making your boundaries. And let me tell you the advantage of this. It allows you to do things with your friends outside of your relationship, and you can also do things in your relationship outside of it. Because if you're all doing the same thing every time, wouldn't it get boring? And there's always too much. So that's the first lesson too. I don't trust the boy, I don't trust the girl either. Like, I'm no longer in the school. Why were they still talking? It could, I know some girls can be funny. Let me say it right. Some girls can be funny. It could be your girlfriend going out, because some girls are there with motives. They always have an agenda. When they see something good, they are coming for it. And they will go every length and breadth to get what they want. And if you are not lucky to have a spiritually strong man, they easily fall for it. And even the spiritually strong one are struggling to do it. So just don't create that atmosphere for that. Let them go. As for the travel, I want to be strategic here. I don't want you to deal with emotions, because we all know how our country is becoming, how the system is. Everybody is looking for opportunity. These opportunities are hard to come by. If your travel is heavily reliant on the guy, then I guess you have to pause. I'm not saying stop. Pause and revisit the documentation process and see what this is life. In the past 2 years, life has taught me a lesson about being strategic and always separating your emotions from your strategies, because we usually easily entangle them, and you don't get what you are supposed to get. In this world, everybody has their own personal interest at heart. It always comes first. That is our human nature. As human, and that's why when somebody is coming to hit you with a knife, the first instinct that comes is to block it. Self-protection. So protect yourself. Be strategic. So go back to the documentation and see what you can leverage in the documentation to forward the go ahead with the process without him. If you are lucky to, and the process is just you traveling, hoping that you could go and stay with him or you could benefit from him one way or the other. Now he's out of the picture.
Right.
Look for other opportunities you can benefit for and still travel.
Right.
Don't stop your travel because of this silly problem. Because you don't know what the world has for you out there. My uncle would tell you, you never know what you don't know till you see, you experience it. So don't be emotionally attached to this travel issue and lose what God probably has ordained for you. One, pray about it. I always pray about my moves. So say a word of prayer about the move you want to take, but also be strategic. Be wise as the serpent. Go and look at the documentation. You'll be lucky, maybe cry, his name is not part anywhere. Quickly, cut him off. If your left hand is worrying you, slash it off and move on. Travel your travel. Find other people. God will bring an angel into your life to help you.
Yeah.
And move on. So my 3 points. Cut these friends, the friend and the boyfriend off. Be mindful of how you deal with friendship when you are in a relationship and how you intertwine these things. And 3, revisit your travel documentation and see what you can leverage from the process. Cut the boy off where you can and move on with your travel.
And four, to add to what you said, don't let your boyfriend stop you from having your husband.
That's right. One thing I want to speak about is what it's become apparent that we as humans find it very difficult to lose people. But once you're able to crack that code,
No, because we're human
that there are
beings. 8 billion
people on this
out
planet.
there.
You are never really losing out.
Nothing.
If you need to cut someone off, by all means, please cut
Let it
them
go.
off. Because look, it gets worse when you don't cut someone
People
off. At the point you need to cut them off.
I think, that just brings me to say that
We
a lot of
fear
people
too
have
much.
abandonment issues.
Yes. And so even when the thing is hurting you to the core, you want to
still
stick
there.
around. There are friendships. Today, I know I stuck around too long around this person. And it makes living any later than that harder. For no reason. You don't have to go through that. When you need to cut people off, please cut them off.
And make it clean.
That has
Clean.
I mean, that has been my thing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Make it
that has
clean.
been my thing.
I learned it too late in life.
Oh, I was
too
really,
late.
I learned it pretty quickly with my mom growing up and friends. If you come into my life, right, and you're not going to bring any value into my life, you're going to give me wahala, you're going to stress me out, and you're not, like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
And I know by grace what kind of grace is upon my life. So if you're coming in and you're just going to give me wahala, I will cut you off.
Yeah.
And I will do it in such a beautiful way that you wouldn't even see it coming. Like, I learned the art of ignoring. Ignore irrelevance. It's even on my WhatsApp status. You live, you laugh, you enjoy life, and you ignore irrelevance, and they come in all shapes, forms, and sizes.
And one
Let
hack,
it go.
One hack I
Let
have
it go.
learned to use to do this is every single individual that comes into my life, I am reading you like a book, but before that, I am praying about you.
Yeah.
I am mentioning you in my prayer. Let every situation that happens between the two of us tell me who you are. And let me, based on that, have enough discernment in my spirit to be able to cut you off easily without
Yeah.
feeling as much pain. And because the earlier you can do that, the faster you can move on and meet better
And
people.
lastly,
And it helps your heart as well.
Yeah.
It's like your heart automatically has a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have time for nonsense.
So now I've literally become
Let me also put this last one. The mistake we make is being objective about defining our relationships.
That's what I
we
keep
quickly
saying.
call people friends.
Yeah.
A colleague is a colleague. An acquaintance is an acquaintance.
acquaintance.
Me, before a friend, I'll start calling a friend a sister. You should have shown me something. Because everybody who knows me knows the relationship I have with my little sister. So for me to put that sister tag on you, you should have End it. So let's be careful and be very objective in defining relationships with the people around. And that is what always comes back to. Some people are acquaintances. Let's keep them aside. They are not friends.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, sister.
Some people are colleagues, some people are mates, some people are...
Yes, I know them. Some people are neighbors.
Okay. Yeah, sisters. I think we're all on the same. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to this issue. But I want to say a very big thank you to each of you for joining me this evening for us to have this conversation. I mean, without you, there won't be the show. All right. So thank you so much. We have been having very interesting conversations after reading our 2 letters. Once more, a very big thank you to the sisters, and also a very big thank you to each and every one of you that is watching or listening, because without you, the show wouldn't be possible. So it's time for me to share my own final thoughts about the letters. The first letter, I just want to say it's important for you to grieve your relationships. I know it's painful, it can be troubling, it can be a lot of emotions flying around, and then yes, you might even develop hate for the other gender. They're all normal feelings. You're not crazy. They're all normal feelings. The only thing I would say is it's important for you to allow yourself to grieve. When you allow yourself to grieve, you would realize that healing is important. Because I feel like a lot of people throw the word healing around. But have you really sat down to grieve about this situation? Have you really sat down and thought about this whole thing? And because in the process of grieving, you will actually realize that you also made some mistakes. You will actually realize that it's not just about this person alone, that I should have done this. I probably saw the signs, but I was too in love. Or I probably saw the signs, but society said I need to have a boyfriend at the age of 30, so I jumped into it. Do you understand? So allow yourself to grieve. Healing doesn't happen easily, but eventually you would heal. And open your heart to love again, because love is a beautiful thing. It's a season of love. And I mean, if you watch the show religiously, you would see how Olivia is always smiling because she's always in love. Yes, so love is a beautiful thing. Allow your heart to be open to love, but you just need to be a little more careful and be open when it to have conversations that are important to you. Like ask the right questions at the right time. Define your relationship. Whoever that you're entering a relationship with, it's supposed to be able to tell you, okay, this is where we are going. This is what I want. So you know that, okay, I am not just in a relationship with myself. I mean, if you've been following City 97.3 FM, it's your boo, your boo. You might be thinking it's your boo, but it's not your boo. In his mind, you're not his boo. So I really think it's important to have these conversations, especially when you're entering a relationship. And don't rush it. Don't listen to what society says. When you are ready, you can get into a relationship. And now, for the second letter that we had, about, friend and boyfriend. Oh, God, Jesus. It sounds like school love. Honestly, I would support the sisters by saying, you don't need to be friends with your friend. You don't need to you don't need to go back with a guy. And if you really need to travel, of course, knowing the situation that we are in the country, or, our economic problems around us, and you feel like, oh, yes, I really need to travel, but maybe it's tied on this guy. See, you can use the opportunity if you want to go, honestly. But you should also have it behind your mind that, this might not go anywhere. I can't really trust this person. Like I said before, don't let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband. He has showed you that he cannot be trusted. And your friend has showed you that she cannot be trusted either. So I don't know why you're feeling bad. You shouldn't have even written to us, honestly. Because I don't really understand why you're feeling bad. These people have showed you who they are, really. So, girl, just pick up yourself and then move on. And then, like Felicia said, you should also be strategic with your life, and don't mix strategy with things of the heart. It doesn't really work most of the time. But I want to say a very big thank you to each and every one. I mean, it's the month of love. Guard your heart and be sure you're in the right relationship. Know that your boo is your boo. Find out if it's really your boo. And also a very big thank you to each and every one of you watching and listening. This has been Sister. My name is Chris Carter, and see you next week, the same time, right here on City TV and 97.3 City FM. Bye-bye.